What? Diana!
The brakes still work.
Hello everyone, let's welcome to Science Classroom with me, Teacher Mila. Okay, for this period, we are going to study about uses of material. Before we are going to study our lesson today, let me review about the lesson of last week. Okay, students, do you remember what we studied at the last week? Yes, very good, student. For the last week, we have learned about properties of materials, right? How many properties of material that we have learned for last week? Did you remember it? Okay, yes, we are going to reveal about it. The first one, it is what? Hard. Hard. The opposite of hard is soft. Soft. Yes, waterproof, waterproof, absorbent, absorbent, transparent, transparent, opaque, opaque, smooth, smooth, rough, rough, rigid, rigid, and the last one is flexible, flexible. Okay, they are easy, right? Yes, these all we called properties of materials. Yes, for today, we are going to study about uses of materials.
For today's lesson, we'll be discussing the uses of materials. We'll be talking about how materials are used depending on their properties. But let me ask you this question first. What makes a material good for making some objects but not for others? Let me give you an example. Why do you think a shoe can be made of leather, rubber, or plastic and not metal? Take some time to think about it. Because of its properties. Leather, rubber, and plastic are light and flexible, whereas metal is strong and heavy. We want our shoes to be light and flexible because we want to be able to walk easily. So metal is not a good material for making shoes because metal is strong and heavy. Now, let's talk about some common and sensible materials and what they're used for. Let's start with wood. Wood is hard, strong, and easy to make into objects such as chairs and bookcases. Next, let's talk about plastic. Plastic is strong, waterproof, and easy to shape into objects such as bottles and bins. And last, let's talk about metal. Metal is strong, does not burn, and can be sharp. Scissors, pans, knives, forks, and spoons are all made from metal. On the next slide, I'll be discussing these terms, sensible and silly. Some materials are sensible or useful in making some objects, while other materials can be silly or unuseful in making the same objects. Let me give you examples here. We know that metal is a sensible material for a pan to bake eggs, but what would happen if the pan was made out of wood? Take some time to think. It is silly to use a wooden pan to bake eggs because the pan will go on fire. So the sensible material for a pan would be metal. Now, let's check what we have learned about materials that are sensible and materials that are silly in making objects. Take a look at the picture. A sofa made of eggs, Do you think is it a sensible idea or a silly idea to make a sofa from eggs? Take some time to think. Of course it's a silly idea because the eggs are going to crack whenever you sit on them. Next, a ball made of rubber. Do you think rubber is a sensible material or a silly material in making a ball? Again, take some time to think. Of course it's sensible. Rubber is a good material in making a ball because it helps it bounce back and forth. The next picture here shows a key made of metal. What do you think? Is metal a sensible material or a silly material in making a key? It is sensible. Metal is sensible in making a key because it's strong. And a key must be made out of a strong material. How about a table made of chocolate? Is it sensible or silly? Of course it's silly. It's not a good idea to use chocolate in making a table because chocolate can melt. The last example here shows a car made of ice. What do you think? A car made of ice, is it a sensible idea or a silly idea? Take some time to think. Of course, it's a silly idea. But let me ask you this question. Why is a car made of ice a silly idea? Think again. There are many reasons why this is a silly idea. It would not be possible to make a moving car from ice because the parts would freeze together, the whole car would melt, and or it would be very cold to sit in. Now it's question time. Question number 1. Which material would be good for making sunglasses and why? Think about it. We can use glass or plastic for the lenses because they're both transparent. However, plastic does not break as easily as glass does. For the frame, we can use metal or plastic. However, plastic is lighter than metal. So the best material for making glasses can be plastic. Question number 2. A long time ago, knights used to wear metal armor. Why is metal not used for clothes? It would not be possible to make clothes from metal because metal is heavy and it is not flexible enough.
Okay everyone, for today we have learned about uses of material already. Okay, I think all of you understand about uses of materials.